G'day everyone, thanks for joining Akkenverse today with me, Akken. As you can see, we're playing The Sims 4 again. We're picking up from where we left off last time, but now I've tried a different editing style. So in the comments down below, let me know if you like this style of editing, because this is the way I will continue, unless you guys prefer a different way. Don't forget to like and comment on the video, and also subscribe to my channel so that we can spread it to more people. Share that video with your friends so that more people can join in on the laughter and the good vibes of my channel. And don't forget to ring that notification bell so you can get kept up to date with when I'm posting. Let's just get straight into it. As you can see, I started back up where we left off, and I've just sent them to work and they've gotten home. Akken, I'm trying to get their aspirations up, so that's pretty much what I've worked on in this video, is just getting them their aspirations as high as I can in a few days. I think it's 4 days in game. As you can see, I've got Akken writing a book. He's starting to get quite up there. We get a couple of phone calls from people wanting to hang out, and I just dismiss them basically just to focus on them working on their aspirations. So today will be the party for Akken as well, so I slow that bit down slightly so that we can see how it goes. But I've got just them going about their normal routines, and there we go, it's up time for the party. So I slow the party down a little bit. I'm not sure if it's normal motion or slightly fast. It's slightly fast, there we go. So I decided to come to the land grab mansion, which isn't as fancy as I thought it was going to be. There's a few levels there that you saw me go up and down just to see what they like, and now I'm focusing on what I need to do for the party. So I'm going to blow out the candles, socialise with Akken for 3 hours, have Sims become playful at the same time, and make a group meal. Now, they got mad at me. Here I am trying to serve a meal together, so I get them trying to make a meal with a couple of people. Choose one that I want to make, and then I send them to go and do it. Now, the 4 of them head off to do it, and for some reason Liberty is very clumsy in this situation, and Calvin stays outside talking for a little while. And that's when I notice that there's 2 babies walking around, and I'm like a little bit confused, because I'm like, what? Why are the land grabs? They're quite old and they've got little tiny babies. So anyway, I get distracted and make Calvin chat to the baby for a little while. And while I'm doing that, one of the characters gets mad at Akken for trying to use the kitchen. So for some reason, they want you to make a group meal, but they won't let you. So I just kind of ignore that one. I still don't know how to make the Sims become playful. So that one, I'm pretty sure I fail as well. But it's been 3 hours already, and my Sims have completed that first socialize with Akken for the 3 hours. Now I bring Akken down to the chess set to try to make him play a game, thinking that this will make them playful. And this is me looking around the house to see what it looks like as well, more so, and where everyone is, because everyone's kind of just split off, even though it's supposed to be a birthday party. So they're like just in different areas doing their own things. See, I think that I would have this house set out way different if this was my house. The interior seems very just not the right kind of interior. I think it just seems very separate. So like there's just big areas of the house that you just walk through to get to places. Like for instance, that little sitting area. There's a person outside talking to a fireplace. There's someone in the kitchen making the cake. It took so long for this man to make the cake, I thought I was going to miss out on blowing out the candle as well. So I've got Akken playing with Liberty at the chess set, and I've got Calvin talking to someone at the front door. Now I'm setting Calvin to clean stuff up and just sit down in the kitchen to try to get stuff going in here, because for some reason it's just going really slow. Then I've noticed the cake, so I set him to put candles on the cake. And I've got Akken going to thank some people for coming, because he just keeps wandering off on his own as well. And then I've going to make him do some of the cake stuff. So we've got not quite just over a quarter of the time left to complete this, and the cake's only been ready for a little while. Yeah, I just was very surprised with how long it took for things to get going in the party. Calvin's incredibly hungry, and so I've tried to make them celebrate with Akken for his birthday before anyone starts eating. But as you can see, people just come up and start eating, and Calvin's pretty much the only one that starts celebrating until they're nearly finished celebrating, and then other people come and start celebrating. Akken ages up, and then trying to get in there to get cake and sit down, and there's people in his way, so he gets cranky. Calvin just stands in the corner sadly because he wants to sit down and people are in his way. I don't know why he doesn't just walk around them to go sit down, but for some reason he doesn't. And now he's busting go to the toilet even though he was starving. So send him to the toilet. Akken walks away. He kind of just got bored, but as you can see, it's nearly finished the birthday party, and I didn't get a chance to do anything really. I still have no idea how to make them playful. Akken sits by himself for a while at his birthday party, while I go looking through the house to see what the heck's going on. And then Akken follows some people around just to try to talk to them. And so I send Calvin out there to talk to Akken, and the birthday finishes. Like, it went really quick. And so I get them to go home pretty much as soon as Akken finishes that cake. I see the little... Oh, he doesn't even finish the cake. That's right. He puts it down and then walks away. And then Calvin walks away. I just thought it was really funny that that little girl just decides to start cleaning up instead of the parents or anything. And we get back to the house and they're incredibly tired, so I just send them to bed. Actually, no, I get a bit of birthday woohoo in first, and then I make them go to bed. So I move away from that so you can't quite see it happening, and then it's the next day. So Calvin's still incredibly hungry, so I make him get leftovers out of the fridge, and then go about his daily routine. And it takes a little bit for Akken to get out of bed, and then I just get them to go around their daily routines for a little while. And I'm trying to get Calvin to stop playing on the computer and sit at the couch to watch TV, but then he gets called to work. And Akken gets called to work, but for some reason just stood in that room for ages, and I was like, what are you doing? So I had to go and stop him from doing everything. Now, I get a pop-up that says that Calvin notices some people laughing at work, and when he walks around near them, they close it, so I made him ask them what's going on. You see the royalty report come in there. Akken sells his latest book. And there you go. You see the people that were laughing around Calvin were laughing at a doctored image of the boss. So I start setting Akken to try to make him feel less tense. And but by this time I still hadn't figured out how to make him have a holiday, because that's what he wants to do, is have a break from work. So and that's where I'm checking to see what I need for the aspiration. So I get him to clean up the mess he left in the morning, and I'm looking around the house at things. Someone wants to come hang out, I say no. Send Akken, that's when he's publishing his book. I get him to sell the flowers outside, because that's a little bit of income every day. Hi, I'm a new resident, I've moved in down the street. Do you want to come over? I say yes, but then accidentally cancel it. So then I go look to see what house it is. It's that house, so I make him go by himself. That's me staring at it going, how do I make him go by himself? And then realizing that I can just press OK without taking anyone with me. And so Akken gets in the car for some reason and goes, even though it's a walk down the street. And here I am saying hello to her. So I knock on the door. She doesn't answer. I just walk straight in. And we talk for the afternoon. So he sits down at the computer and talks to her while she sits on the bed and talks to him. And somehow they become really close friends to the point of he can hug her and cheer her up quite easily. And yeah, they just hang out for a little while. And she goes and sleeps right then, and I'm just very confused. So I come in and start talking to her so she gets back out of bed. And then we sit next to each other and just talk for ages. And I learn about her. And I make sure to go to friendly instead of anything popping up and making her upset or trying to flirt with her or anything. And we just talk for a very long time. So as you can see there, I've got lots of interactions set for Akken to do with her, whose name I've actually forgotten. It's Kylie somebody, but I can't remember her last name. Anyway, so we talk and talk and talk. And we become good. That's where we became good friends. Calvin gets home from work. And so I decide, because as you can see he's caring for himself, but I decide to make him come to the house as well. He knocks on the door. No, he doesn't even knock on the door, he just comes in. She goes away to start doing stuff, so I make Akken interact with Calvin. We muck around. I make Calvin do a flirty tease, and it actually makes Akken mad, so I make him apologize and stuff. And then they're just hugging and talking when Kylie comes back, and she gets some food for us, and then sits at the bar. And so Akken and Calvin come and sit next to her and start talking, but I end up sending Akken home, so Calvin can talk to her for a little while. And then I'm pretty sure they send Calvin home not that long after. Yep, Calvin's on his way home. So I go back to Akken. And for some reason it took ages to get back home. I pause it just quickly to make sure that they're not just doing random stuff. I make them do their normal things that they have to do. I noticed that there's a pile of water on the floor, so Akken cleans that up. And then I realize that the sink is leaking, so I make Akken repair the sink. And I was there going, why is he finding unpleasant surroundings? But I believe there was something dirty that I didn't notice for ages. Or it could just be the puddle that was on the floor, I don't remember. I make Akken clean out the dirty food, go and empty the bin and check all of the little things. His list is full. I make Calvin do some fishing because I want to try to catch another koi, seeing as though I accidentally got rid of the last one, as well as see what other kind of fish I can catch and see if it does anything to do, catch the fish other than making Calvin happy because he likes fishing. Somehow I find a digital camera in the river. And there you see Akken running around doing the things I asked him to do. And I was just having a look here to see if there's anything exciting that I could do, but I end up just taking some stuff that I put in the fridge and then forget about, funnily enough. So Calvin's learning new things about new fish. Akken's gardening skill levels up, and he goes back home, and I start selling the stuff that he found, because the only reason I was digging up was for extra money. I extract the fossil to see what's going on. Akken goes to bed, and then I send Calvin to bed, because it was getting quite late at night. Now I'm not actually sure what that thing is on the floor there outside. I think it just kind of disappears at some point. Because I think I put something on top of it. Oh no, there we go, it was the fish. And I put it back away. I couldn't remember what it was, because I thought if I put the fish out there it would put it in a little tank, but it didn't. And then this is me going in and seeing what was in my inventory and realizing I have a couch in there, so I sell the old couch and put that couch out. And then start putting the other stuff out that's in my inventory, realizing that my wall is a different colour in the process. And so I'm just hanging out the random stuff just to make it, you know, not be in my inventory and to see if it actually makes anything happen. Makes them feel different, you know, unlocks anything, whatever. So I end up moving some stuff on the desk so that Calvin can have the rose on his desk. And I put the parts in the room to give him the focused thing. And then this is me realizing that if I just use the color palette thing that I can change the color of stuff, but I don't end up doing that yet. Akken gets up really early to start doing the stuff that I've asked him to do for some reason. And then I send him back to bed. And then the next morning I start with just them doing the normal daily stuff. And then this is me trying to figure out how to get Akken to stay home from work that day. So I end up flicking through and not finding it straight away. So I accidentally start trying to take a photo with my camera, which is why it does this. And then I get kind of confused. I'm like, oh, okay. So just take the photo and get out of it. And then I'm looking through stuff because I just can't understand what's going on. Well, not what's going on, but how to make him stay home from work. Anyway, so I get them to just focus on their aspirations for a little while. And while I'm doing that, I end up Googling how to make him stay home from work. And so that's when I do it there. And then realize that he's got to go to work very soon, so I make him call, and they say, yep, no worries, have a day off. And then I send Calvin to work, and Akken focuses on writing, so I think I've got him practicing writing. I'm not actually sure at this point. Then I'm like, okay, well I might go see, because I was looking at that palette thing, I'll see if I can change the colour of the stuff that I like. End up realizing that I can't have the couch as the same colour, so I sell that couch and get the same couch that I already had. And then I go through and change everything to a dark color palette. So I was trying to figure out whether I wanted the black bench top with the white cupboards or the white bench top with the black cupboards. End up with the white bench top, black cupboards. And then I was going for a dark wood here, but it kind of looks black. And then I've got then I'm looking at the different bed things that I can have. I like that bed, so I want to keep it. And then I'm just looking at all the different coloured things that I can have and try to make these just a little bit darker. And then I'm looking at the shower and I'm like, oh, well, I might make the shower black as well. And so I do. And then I realise that no, I wanted that shower different to the other bathroom. So it wasn't the same. So I turn it back. And then I go through and just look around at different stuff that I can do that to. So I make the wood a little bit darker on that. End up getting another pot so I can put another plant pot down. I see that I can change the bin and the mailbox. And then I get Akken to plant some chrysanthemums that he dug up yesterday. And there you can see that I leveled up in writing. So you can see that Calvin at work, his schedule's not going well with what they're doing, so I tell him to tell his boss that he needs more time on his project, which ends up being good, and the manager thanks Calvin for letting him know. Some random person walks up at the door, And I'm like, I don't know who that is, so I just ignore her, and she stays there for a long time. And then this guy calls and he's like, should I go and hang out with this person? I say yes. That's not the last time he calls and asks that question. And then this guy walks to the door and I say hello to him and then send him home. But he ends up staying for some reason. He just sits there and I'm like, I did ask you to go home. Now, meanwhile, this is in fast forward, so in my editor, not in the game. So this is actually, I think, twice the speed that it should have been going in-game, that it was going in-game. That was Calvin getting home from work and getting some more money, and he just walks inside. He doesn't care about this person at all. So then I realise that he's come home, and I start making him do his normal routines and get him to view that thing that I put in the office. Then I've got Akken harvesting and selling the flowers, and I decided to see what research does. So I believe this would just up my gardening skill, but I'm not actually sure. So I just let him go for a little while, and this guy is still inside the house, even though I asked him to leave. And so I send Calvin out to talk to him for a little while, and I turn the TV back off so that they can just talk, and then they stand there for ages. And finally sit down and continue talking. Akken gets some food, he goes out there to talk, and so Calvin walks away to do the dishes in the bathroom, as you do. And then they come out, and for some reason, Calvin just starts flirting with this guy. And I have absolutely no idea why, because I didn't tell him to do that. And so Akken gets cranky and Calvin walks away. And then they go to talk to each other because I'm like, what the heck's going on? I make them hug. And then I think the other guy just walked off, even though I asked him to go home hours ago. They're all fine and dandy and talking. And then I get Akken to continue practicing writing. And I get Calvin to practice programming. And so after Akken goes to the toilet and cleans up his mess, he's practicing writing. Meanwhile, I'm just letting them go and looking at the stuff, and his little happiness things go down, and then I realise he's very angry for some reason. So I look at it, and it's because Calvin was flirting with the other guy, and I was like, I didn't even know that happened. So then I make Calvin go and apologise, and they talk for a little while. And I get him to give a pep talk, and he gains more charisma doing that. Not from the pep talk, but from talking to Akken. And then Akken and him go and hug, and this is the next morning. So I make them just do their normal daily routines after they go to bed. That was Kylie telling me to thank you for letting her know that she should switch careers. And now he's asking if he should go on a date with somebody else. Then I don't know whether that has happened in the update or whether I've just missed it before the pile of stuff coming onto the ground that you can look through to see if you get any upgrade parts. Because there was an update the day before I played this session. And so I do that and make him take the rubbish out. His friend wants to come over and I say no again because I'm just trying to get his aspiration up. And then I'm like, I wonder if that frog is actually making him go slower because he keeps stopping to look at the frog. So I take the frog out of the room and it does feel like it actually speeds him up. So I leave the frog out of the room. Calvin gets home from work, so I pause it very quickly and make him just go about his day. Then he gets the phone call to say, thank you so much for telling me that I should go date this person. And yeah, I just have them practicing for a little while they go about their day. Akken goes and gets some food. And then I realised that Calvin had finished doing what he was doing and was just sitting there. And so I was very confused and made him go and get a microwave meal because I didn't realise that Akken had finished the last leftovers. Then I make Akken finish cleaning out the leftovers that are in there and tidying up the stuff that he had left. And then I put the photo out to see what it looks like. And I'm like, you know what? This is Akken's fiancée. He should really have the photo of his fiancée next to his work area because that would be, you know, nice. So I put the photo of Calvin next to his computer and just have them talk. For some reason, he grabbed a drink of water by himself. I make him go to the toilet and I start looking at what I can actually do with the photo. Then this random little girl shows up at the house while I'm out there studying the plants. Knocks on the door right next to me and I'm like, hi, I'm out here. And then they start talking. So I'm like, okay, well, I'll just see what the heck happens. But I'm very careful as to, like, what I can say to her. And I'm like, I don't like this. This feels like a really scary thing. Like, why would you just send your kid to somebody's house? Or why would you let your kid just walk off to some stranger's house? Meanwhile, his friend shows up and so they say hello. And they start talking. Then the little kid goes home. See ya. I still don't know why she turned up at the house, and I think it's very scary that a little kid can just show up at the house. Then I go to see what Calvin's doing, so I'm messing around with the stuff on his desk just to see if I can make it look nicer. Then I'm like, Akken, you need to go and continue writing. So I send him in to do that, but I've got both of those doors set to lock for anyone but the household. And I realise how late at night it's getting, so I look at the fact that both of them need to go to sleep. So I send to sleep. Meanwhile, I have actually told this woman to go home, or I selected tell to go home. She stays in my house for like 3 or 4 hours, just walking backwards and forwards, cleaning up, reading a book. This is like 4 hours after we've gone to bed. And then she finally leaves, and it's the next morning again. And that's when I realise that there's a dirty sink. I make Akken make some breakfast for both of us, that there's food in the fridge. And I get Calvin to come and get some. And then I make sure that they clean up and try to put the food away, yep. And then I tell Akken to go and practice writing and send Calvin to do the rounds outside, but I edited that out so you didn't see me having to click on everything. And they've got him fishing outside while Akken is practicing writing. Then I realise that Akken is busting to go to the toilet, so I make him go and do that, and then back onto the computer. And then I realise that Calvin and Akken are both starting to get a little bit lonely and need to talk to people, so I set Calvin to make a phone call. That Declan guy, or Deacon, whatever the heck his name is, calls again, but he wants to come over, so I say no. I realise there's water everywhere again, so I get Calvin to clean it up and repair the shower, because the shower was what was making that water everywhere. Another person wants to hang out, and I say, no bro, I don't want to hang out. I'm just trying to get their aspirations complete. And then I see that pile of stuff again, and I'm like, okay, well, go look through it to see if you get some stuff out of it. So Akken has published 5 of the 10 books that he needs to publish for his aspirations, and then his computer breaks. So I make him start fixing it. And I get Calvin gets some upgrade pieces. I get him to take the rubbish back out after having a shower. Akken had started playing video games again instead of writing, so I put him back on to writing. And then I've got Calvin upgrading the shower. So I I start thinking, oh, okay, well, what sort of upgrades can I do? So I've got him upgrading the shower, and then later on in the video, you'll see that I upgrade some other stuff. I get Akken to eat again and go to the toilet and stuff. Calvin comes to say hello, and then he gets on the computer. And then I realize that it's time for bed. And just as it's time for bed, Akken reaches the highest level in writing. So I'm very happy about that. So I get him to go and eat, go to the toilet, and go to bed because it is getting late at night. And then it's the next day, and nothing really happened that day, so they just went to work, and I got them to do some normal around the house stuff, and so I just cut to them going back to bed. But this is when I started turning all the lights and stuff off. Next day, because I'd changed all the lights to the same kind of lights. Next day, and this is where I start getting Calvin to upgrade stuff, I believe. So yeah. So making him go to the toilet because he's absolutely busting, and then I start getting him to upgrade stuff. So he's washing his hands, and then that's when he starts upgrading stuff. For some reason, Akken just sits there staring at the food that's on the table. So I get him to clean up after himself and put away. And then go to the toilet and stuff. And then, so yeah, I can see that Calvin's social stuff is going down. So after getting him to eat and upgrade the sink, I get Akken to go and look at the trophy that we got from Calvin's work, which makes Akken focus. But then I realize it's a trophy that Calvin got, so I put it in his room and put the pile of hard drives and stuff in Akken's office. So Calvin's desk now has his trophy and his rose and his little figurine and fossil, and Akken's has his photo of Calvin and his fossil. Now, later on they go to work and Akken's home from work. The guy calls again, and I say no. Calvin's coming home from work, earned his money, he's earned his vacation day, and now he's upgrading the sink. Then I'm setting him to start calling people because his social is getting quite low. I've got him repairing the bed now, and that's when he will start calling people. For some reason, that land grab guy just died, and Akken got sad, and I was like, why did he just get sad? Because it just happened. And for ages, I'm trying to figure out, this is me looking around, trying to figure out what's going on. And then so I go through the people and realize that this guy's a ghost in his social network. And I'm like, what the heck? So yeah, somehow Jeffrey Landgrab just dropped dead, and somehow Akken knew straight away. They must have been connected. Anyway, so I sent him to sell his newest book and just try to get him doing his normal stuff, trying to get the sadness to go away. So I get him cooking, and for some reason the stove explodes. So I'm not having a very good time with all this stuff. And so I've got Akken cleaning up and stuff while Calvin starts doing other stuff. I've got Calvin doing, I think this is where he's finishing upgrading the sink because he ended up walking away from it. And Akken's cleaning up, and then he starts repairing the stove that decided it was going to explode. And then the parts are there again, so I get him to go through the parts and then take the rubbish out. And then he needs to go to bed because he's starting to get tired. And there we have it. Goes to bed. And yeah, that's where we're going to leave it today. So thanks so much for joining me today. I hope that was a little bit quicker and more exciting than usual. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe so that we can get more people enjoying the good vibes and the laughter on this channel. Share the video so that we can spread it to more people, and ring that notification bell so you can be kept up to date of when I'm posting. Thanks so much for joining me today, and I hope you had a great time. Bye!